What's up, everybody? My name is Brooks Jackson. I'm a senior at Homewood. Some of y'all may know me as Charlotte or Graham's brother, maybe the crazy guy who paints his chest at all the Homewood games. However, a little bit more about me is I played golf all throughout my life. I'm super involved here at Element. I love spending time outdoors and hanging out with friends. And in the fall, I'm planning on attending SMU in Dallas, Texas. In a few moments, Molly is going to talk about belonging, finding a place where you feel seen and welcomed. And that's so important. But once you do feel like you belong, what's next? What do you actually do with that? What does it look like to live that out in our own community? That's what I want to spend the next few minutes discussing. Earlier today, a lot of us were at the middle school packing food bags together. And honestly, it was more than just putting rice, spices, and vitamins in a bag. It was all of us working together, figuring things out, handing stuff down the line, laughing when we messed up, encouraging each other when we got behind. And when you're in the middle of all that, you start to realize something. Community isn't just a place you show up to. It's something you participate in, which is really cool. Just this afternoon alone, in 2 hours, we packaged 14,000 meals that will be sent to people in need all around the world. That's amazing. It shows that together, being the hands and feet of Christ actually make a difference. Because it's not just the meals that we've packed today, it's also the other 320,000 meals we've packed as a church with Rise Against Hunger just in the past 10 years. My point is this, just right out the gate, that for all that sometimes the church fails to be, I've seen over the past 7 years what the church can be, what it looks like to be in a community centered on Jesus, not ourselves, but serving others. Wednesday nights in my Fusion small group were one of the first places I ever felt that. It wasn't fancy, just a bunch of guys showing up, eating food, talking about life, praying for each other, but it was real. It was the first time I realized that faith grows when you're surrounded by people who are also trying to go theirs too. And then this year, being a part of Commission, our senior Bible study, pushed that even deeper. It's the first time I've sat in a room with people my age and heard them be completely vulnerable and real about what they're carrying, what they're scared of, and what they want to change. In January, we had a retreat with the 9th grade Cultivate group, which was so special. Being able to pour into these younger kids, but also have them pour right back into you. One of our speakers, James Spencer, told us that vulnerability without community is impossible. And community without vulnerability is fake. Let me say that one more time. Vulnerability without community is impossible. And community without vulnerability is fake. That's so true. And I've seen it all year long, where we've talked about how we can reshape our high school to reflect God more, not by being perfect, but by being genuine and showing up for others. Those conversations have meant more to me than I ever could have expected. So last year, I took up a New Year's resolution. I wanted to become fluent in Spanish and do it within 6 months. I was fortunate enough to have just found out that I was selected to go on our high school Panama mission trip coming up that summer, and I wanted to do everything I could, be able to connect with the kids we were serving as much as I could. Well, after 6 months of Duolingo, I realized that the phrase "Como se dice" was going to be my lifeline for the next week. And for those of you who know less Spanish than I do, that translates to how do you say? AKA, how do you say anything in Spanish, because I literally couldn't remember how to say anything. So yeah, I was basically relying on hand motions and hope. And even with all that excitement, there was still this little voice in the back of my mind wondering if I'd measure up. I mean, everyone brings something different to a trip like that, and I wasn't totally sure what I was bringing. And I think a lot of us feel that way when it comes to serving or stepping into our own community. We want to help, but we're not always sure if what we bring is enough. It's a weird mix, being excited, but also hoping you're not the one who needs the most help. But once we got there, something cool happened. Our group, just a bunch of students and leaders from Birmingham, started to feel like a real team. We had a purpose, and that purpose had two parts. First, we were there to build a basketball court for a neighborhood that didn't have many places for kids to play. But second, we were there to build relationships, to bring energy, joy, and encouragement to the people around us. And even with the language barrier, we found ways to connect. I mean, sometimes it was the tiny bit of Spanish we could manage. Sometimes it was the hand motions. Sometimes it was just laughing at ourselves when we completely butchered a sentence. But it worked. We mixed cement, shoveled dirt together, kicked the soccer ball with the kids during our breaks. And somewhere in the middle of all that, something started to settle in for me. Not in a big, dramatic moment, but in these small, quiet ones. Like when someone would pick up the wheelbarrow for me to give me a break, or the kids didn't care how well we spoke, they just cared that we were there. When everyone else's strengths filled in the gaps where I felt unsure. And those moments kept adding up. And by the end of the week, I could feel something shifting in me. I started to see that community isn't built on everyone being good at the same things. It's built on people showing up with whatever they have, strengths, weaknesses, all of it, and trusting that somehow it all fits together. And after experiencing that, a verse I've heard numerous times finally clicked. Hebrews chapter 10, verses 24 through 25 say, "And let us consider how to provoke one another to love and good deeds, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." When I think about Panama, that's exactly what's happening. We were encouraging each other through the heat, through the work, through the language barrier. And the people there encouraged us right back with their joy, their hospitality, and their willingness to jump in right beside us. And when I think about today at the middle school, I saw the same thing. People lifting each other up, helping each other get the job done, making the work lighter just by being kind. So after today, and after Panama, after years of fusion and commission, I think I'm starting to see that community grows when we actually do things together. Not perfectly, not with all the answers, just together. And honestly, seeing everyone serving side by side today reminded me that the small moments of showing up really do matter. The truth is, most of my life has been fairly easy. Like, I've had these incredible experiences, not just of Panama and other trips and places I've gotten to go in my life, but even just this church, a pretty extraordinary place that gets to put on these kind of weekends and events like Element every week. For all of that, I think what I've come to learn more than anything else is it's not just about finding a place where you belong. It's about understanding your purpose and understanding that these small moments actually do matter. I didn't learn any of this, honestly, on my own. I learned about it from the other people ahead of me, showing me each day what it means to show up for other people. My parents are the ones who show me that the most. Like, I don't think mom and dad made a ton of mistakes in my life. I don't think I've screwed up too big or too bad to have any type of big story to tell you all tonight. And again, I don't think it's because I'm this perfect kid that's got it all figured out. In fact, I know I'm far from it. What I have learned is what it looks like to show up because of all the people who have always shown up for me. So as we leave here today, my challenge is simple. Be a little more open, a little more honest, a little more willing to show up for the people around you. Because that's how community grows. Not all at once, not in some big dramatic moment, but in those small decisions to be present with each other. Thank you.